Greetings, weary traveler, come, warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and tales of Tamriel. I'm your host Arkhaniir, and we are back with episode 201, not 101 as I said in the previous recording. I just deleted 100 episode in my mind and ready to record another 100, so... But I'm here with the founder himself, Aggelos. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Glad to be back. All the pressure's off from episode 200. Now we can go back to not really putting together a professional show.
Exactly. It's a relief, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. This might as well be episode 1.
Right. And our dedicated charity streamer and slowly becoming our superstar, Lotus himself. How are you doing, Lotus?
That's a bit of an overhype, but thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say I am going pretty well. Lots of Blades discussion for anybody unfortunate enough to follow me on Twitter, as I assume I'm constantly in everyone's timeline. So,
I mean, it's good that one of us
not
can
the
do
hero
Blades
we
discussion.
deserve.
I mean, considering you are the only one within the entire crew that can play Elder Scrolls Blades, I guess it's good that you are in those discussions.
That's true. Yeah, Promethean's my only other confidant in this situation that has any access to Blade, and he couldn't make it, so it's apparently just me. So.
Yeah.
You millennials and your new phones.
Yep, my newfangled. So you got the 6. I got the next version.
I don't ever buy a phone unless someone pays for it for me. So last time my job bought me a phone, it was 6 and it was new then. So
that's fair. To be fair,
talk them into it again.
My 6, I actually might have brought this up on the show at some point. I was taking my dog for a run and my phone flew out of my pocket and it landed on the ground, to which I immediately stopped to try to get it. But had I just kept running, it would have been better, because when I stopped short, I stomped on it as well. I broke the OtterBox case and fractured the screen. So that occasionally does make Blades a little tricky, because one of the corners is spider glassed a bit. And yeah, but it's above where the joystick is, as long as I hold it a correct way. So it orients in all 4 directions. As long as I hold it a specific way, because I like playing it horizontal with the 2 joysticks, as long as I do it one way and not the other, it's totally fine. If I ever grab it the other direction, it's garbage.
So wait, you can play it both horizontally and vertically?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god, the UI nightmare they must have gone through to make that happen.
So it does like a little dual joystick if you do it horizontal. And if you hold it vertical, like the toilet mode, I think was the joke when it was originally shown, I find that it makes reading stat screens pretty decent, but you basically tap where you want to go. And like that VR thing where you just travel to it automatically, that's what it does.
Oh,
that's not precise enough for me, so I don't like doing that. I mean, it works.
I wonder if I can make that work on my work tablet. Like, it's an iPad 4 mini, I guess. Like, I wonder if that.
Okay.
I have to look at the supported things list, but maybe that'll work. I don't know. Also, chat room. Hello, I see a lot of people there already. Swampy, Isha, as always, and James and Elder Scrolls Lorecast in chat as well. Thank you all for joining us on the live show.
Yes, Sinister, he's in there as well. I was gonna say lots of friendly faces.
Except almost all of them love Guar, and so they're not as friendly faces as I'd like to.
I don't know.
Except Swampy once sent... I think it was Swampy who once sent me a video of him just killing Guars. I don't remember. Someone did send me an amazing video.
Jameson, isn't it?
It could be as well. I'll have to go back on Twitter. I was just too focused on the video. I don't know who actually sent the video. But yeah, there was a video like that, and it was beautiful. Not Swampy? Okay, it wasn't Swampy.
No, he had that beautiful one of the lore seekers on the waterfall, prancing them around.
Oh, I had completely removed that from my memory, and now you brought it back.
Yeah, his was art.
Apparently it's not someone in chat because James also likes guars.
Yeah, ban hammered
pet
them.
guar.
You'll never see your support.
But yeah, anyway, so for today, we've got 2 section of news. One is for the Blades, because they made a huge update in a very positive way. And we have some mega server queue times news from Elder Scrolls Online. That one is actually short, so I'm gonna start with that, and I'm gonna let you talk about the Blades, Lotus.
Okay.
So basically what happened is they reopened the queues, or queue system, when you log into the game for European mega server, because apparently there's a huge influx of European players in Elder Scrolls Online, which is a good thing, but their servers were just not ready for it, and during prime times, the servers just they start having a hard time processing everything, so we start having performance issues, disconnects, group finder not working, things like that. So they turned on the queue system until, for about 2 weeks, they say in the article, to upgrade the hardwares, and until that happens, during peak times, we might just experience queue times, basically. From what I've read, people are waiting about 5 minutes to 15 minutes, so it's not that bad. And you have a 20-minute grace period where in 20 minutes, if you get disconnected or log out, or, whatever, your PC shuts down, you have 20 minutes before you are back in the queue again. So, yeah, it's just 2 weeks of... 2 weeks of a little bit of waiting every now and then for a bigger community. I'll take that trade. But yeah, that was just the news from EU mega server. And yeah, Lotus, enlighten us about all the Blades things.
Okay, so
actually, before we do Blades, can I?
Yes.
I'm curious. Did they? I know we're doing the mega server changes for new players. Did they give an indication of how many we're getting?
No.
That is
not as far as I
could
see in the article.
So, just because I don't play other MMOs, so I don't really know. Do you happen to know, what the huge influx out of WoW is currently that I keep hearing about, where people are, hemorrhaging out of that game?
Yeah, it's because BFA, Battle for Azeroth, is not real. It was an expansion that came out a little while ago, and a bunch of the systems that are in there, they're just not fun for the gameplay. So,
Really?
Yeah,
so it
people
turned off
are
a lot of players.
hating the Azerite system, terribly bad. So they keep making adjustments, which makes it worse. And people are just yeah, we're not doing any more of this. This is crazy.
Gotcha. Okay, because I have heard that there has been an influx to ESO, and my friends who play Final Fantasy XIV has been a thing as well, where I guess they're getting players. It seems like the player base is dispersing to others. And I just didn't know why, so I was kind of curious.
So can we say we finally killed World of Warcraft?
More
man.
WoW is killing itself.
Yeah, the amount of times people are like, "Oh, it's the Destiny killer." It's like Destiny dies when Destiny has decided it's had enough of itself, and that's when Destiny will go away. It's I don't think it's anybody else's job to do it. I think that people are. It's funny. It always seems the one in first is the one who takes first place away from itself. It's usually not somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. I never play World of Warcraft, so I don't know.
Yeah, I played it for 15 minutes once because people said, they were like, "Oh, you like video games? Do you like this?" And I played it, and I was like, "No." And that was the end of it. So I just
that was a pretty short experience.
Yeah, it did not last long. I made it through character creator and hit a couple things, and I didn't like the I don't know what you would call that style of gameplay, but basically you tell the game to tell the character to do something as opposed to you do it yourself. That delay between that just screwed with me. I was just I don't think I can play this, and I just never went back.
I don't know. I just the art style of World of Warcraft is just
that's
for me.
Not really my thing either.
But yeah, Blades.
Okay, Blades it is. So, it is... Some of you might have had the pleasure or displeasure of playing Blades, depending upon what you think. It seems pretty polarizing. However, from what they saw, I don't actually have the exact numbers on this. I wish I had written this part down. But they, I guess, were the most downloaded app on iTunes. And they've had over 1 million downloads already. So a lot of people are apparently checking this thing out that can use it. Because as we made the joke, it's kind of particular on which devices can run this game, as mine barely makes the cut. Ark, you don't have any luck. Ag just missed the cut.
Yep.
A lot of people I know are not able to access it. One of my friends actually has a newer phone than me by 4 days, and his phone doesn't even get to use it. I was like, I don't even understand how that works, but all right. So I do know that it's got some issues with the amount of people that can use it. They earlier today, I guess, added 3 new devices for Android, like the Pixel XL, and something else. I don't have an Android.
Galaxy S7? Huh?
Yes, actually, I think that.
Wait, hold on.
Is that it? It's something 7.
Wait, let me. Actually,
yeah. Watch me the wrong thing. It's something 7.
I mean, if it's Galaxy S7, I might actually get Blades now.
Yeah, they mentioned that earlier, and I saw
it. Actually is. Ta-da! It's actually there. Oh god, download.
There you go.
Show's over, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and we're out.
You guys continue. I'm just gonna play.
Yep. So we know what Ark will be doing the rest of the show. All right. So, this is fantastic. I'm glad to have more people be able to get their hands on this. Sorry, Ag.
I'm not gonna work at all anymore.
So,
all right, continue.
Those bathroom breaks, Ark. You've been in there for like 3 hours, dude. Go to the doctor.
You can't be well. So I've played it a decent bit more. I am now level 20, which more than a bunch, but less than some people who have put in crazy hours that I've been talking to them on. The loop is pretty much the same as it was before. The only gameplay difference I will make a note of, and I don't want this to come across that I think I'm good at this game, because actually, on the contrary, I feel like I'm very mediocre at this game and need to practice my timing quite a bit. There was mention of the game kind of hitting a paywall with difficulty, which I still don't necessarily think that might not be true at some point. Somebody had mentioned they were up at level 46 and said that it had become brutal, which... Okay, that very well could be. You got 26 levels on me, and it's a good challenge. Like, the game is challenging, but I wanted to kind of get across the point that this game seems to have a little more RPG to it than I think people might be realizing. Enemies are specifically weak against styles of attacks as well as elements. So, like, bashing is good against skeletons. Poison and slashing is good against bandits. Blah, 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 blah.
Wait, is that a certain thing, or is that just how it feels like?
No, it warns you before quests. Like, these people have frost resistance. So I decided to kind of go in and see if this mattered, because I did notice that there were a couple fights where I was having, like, normally I would just be smashing through things, and it was just like, man, I got nothing here. Like, I'm doing, like, 40 damage as opposed to 106 like I'm usually doing. I was like, man. And then I noticed, I was like, wait, they're making reference to this quite a bit. So I started switching up what I was using to try to match their weaknesses. And my damage went right back up, and I started cleaving through things again. Trolls are weak to fire and cleave, I believe it is. That's been a big one that's been holding people up. Use fire and cleave, they take a lot fewer hits than if you go at them with like a dwarven mace of frost. Like, it's not as effective. Like, and it shows.
I actually really like that though, because so few games still do that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Which, to the game's credit, at least the way it seems, is I noticed a substantial change in difficulty when I would try to match. as when I would overpower. Now, if I'm overpowered on the level and it's like a one skull thing, I'll just go in and just smash everything. And it's just like, get out of my face. But like, if it's a 4 or 5 skull difficulty and the game warns you, like, these things are resistant to this, they're prone to using this might be a challenge out of your range, I'll rearrange my equipment, or I'll brew a couple poisons and put them on my blade and then use it. Makes it way easier. That to me that's not a paywall. That's a strategy thing, which I almost didn't assume would be in a game it would be on a phone. That seems kind of more complicated than I would expect out of something like this. So I don't know if that will help anybody if you haven't been taking that into account. I'm not saying that that's like, this is why it's tough for you guys. No, absolutely. Like the game gets difficult at points. So
sure.
But that seems like that helped me quite a bit. So hopefully maybe if people do that, it'll make your thing a little less prone to paying to do stuff and just like, no, you just got to keep a backup. Even if it's a little weaker, keep something for just this occasion.
Mm-hmm.
I just killed a Talmor dude.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. That is very old school RPG though. To give them the benefit of the doubt, and I know a lot of mobile games are almost always pay to win or very paywall heavy, but that's an old school RPG thing, and it's something that's actually more akin to the modern day genre of survival games where you have to keep equipment that may be older just so that when your stuff breaks, you're not out and
yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing, actually. I actually have a couple weapons that are substantially worse than my best. My best thing happens to be a like modified dwarven mace, but I keep like an axe of sparks, and I've got like a great sword of fire, just because I'm like, okay, I need these for things that they're not substantially worse, but they are worse.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, well, I'd rather use this because it's comparable, if not better, when I match up against something that's weak to that. So,
all right.
What do you call it? But on that note, they also apparently adjusted the difficulty and made it slightly easier because maybe they did notice that there was some imbalance. Specifically, from what I understand, it's story-related stuff, because I know a lot of people want to experience the story, and the story was starting to hold people up where it's like, I literally can't beat this boss. Like, it's just murdering me, so I can't even continue the story. So I think they might be adjusting that specifically. And again, as I progress farther, I'll find out whether that no longer matters or if that's just kind of something you need to keep at the back of your mind. The first huge thing they had an issue with was the silver chest outrage, where you will get silver chests at a rate that you basically cannot open them fast enough. And that was originally my first big complaint about the game. They took 3 hours to open a silver chest. All the chests are time gated. You get a year out of them. Silver is middle tier, droppable ones. There's gold. That takes 6 hours to open. Silver, 3 hours. Wood takes 5 seconds. Okay, whatever. And you would backlog up these silver chests so much that you would basically be forced to pay to open them. Or you would do what I did and be like, Blades, why don't you want me to play you? Because now I'm literally not going to play the game for 2 days while I just set chests to open until I have inventory space again.
Right.
They took that under advisement, and it now takes an hour to open silver chests, which isn't good enough for some people. It's more than I actually expected. I was like, maybe they'll nudge it down to 2 hours. Well, they nudge it down to 1, and I have no issue with those things. I open them all day at work, and it's like, okay, well, boom, my inventory's clear again, like good to go. I can play when I want. And then I open a gold one overnight, so those are fine. Those usually have some good stuff in them. The rate of chests has changed as a result of that, where you don't just get silver chests like pretty much all the time. You get more wooden chests, which is fine because you can just crack them open. You get whatever out of them. And gold chests are still like, I think it's a 5% chance of completing a quest. You get a gold. So they're just a mixed bag. And they have now put in the originally payment only version of an elder chest. Now has a low percentage of chance to drop in the game as well. which will drop.
Okay.
Yeah, that was not even a thing originally. So that's now been added to the loot table. I haven't gotten one yet. That's fine. It's neat that it's there. More stuff should be available gameplay wise as well. So
I've got a question. To open the chests,
Mm-hmm.
for that timer to work, does the game need to be open?
Nope.
Okay. So once you
I
get
close
the chest,
you have to save battery power.
Okay, so that works. All right. I mean,
Yep,
1
it seems
hour
like
then
it's
is
all
not a
on
problem. I can just, at work,
It's
it'll all open anyway. So
That's exactly what I do. The other thing is you can set an alert in game, and it will pop up like you have a text message every time your chest is ready to open too.
oh god,
And so it gives you a message when it's opened. And there's kind of an ironic, funny one that I found, which I actually just found today, was if you don't have a chest opening and like 20 minutes goes by, it sends a little message and says, "Would you like to be opening a chest right now?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you, Blades, for reminding me. I thought I had clicked that and I did not." So yeah, that's again, I don't find it that aggressive, but I have, I space it out. I'm not going to sit there and binge the game for 16 hours like I had mentioned last time. It's not that type of game, at least to me. I don't know the exact rates on this, but it seems like you get a lot more gems, which is gold is the in-game currency only. Gems is the wacky voodoo money that you can spend real money on and blah, blah, blah. Well, you get occasional ones from killing enemies, and I mean really occasional. You get some every now and then for leveling up to kind of nudge you toward the direction of like, hey, here's a taste, what do you think?
Yep.
And then when you open chests, you have a chance to get them. Well, since you can open so many chests so much faster now, I am flooded with these things.
Nice.
Prior to, I had 176 gems. That includes everything. Now, I did spend some upgrading my chest leg, but I just was sitting on 176. Today, I got 101 gems. So I almost, I added basically a third of what I previously owned, like an extra 50% onto the thing. And I'm like, wow, that's a big jump. But I think it's because you can open stuff so much faster. Kind of a side effect of it. And then the other big thing that they are doing / did, there has been a huge outcry of the one huge problem with the pay-to-win feature where you can just straight up buy weapons, specifically legendary weapons. You will still be allowed to buy like crates of crap. Like you can buy, wood chests for whatever they cost and bronze chest or silver chests and stuff like that. And it's just loot box whatevers. But they were just straight up selling, hey, give us $15 or $14 and we'll just give you a legendary weapon. I believe the next one scheduled was just, here's the Mace of Molag Bal, give us $15. And that is just gross because they were monstrously overpowered when you got them, it seemed like. I don't know. I didn't actually acquire any of them.
Don't lie, you bought them all.
They're all mine. So
I am the Daedric Master.
I was dual wielding a Dawnbreaker and a Mace of Molag Bal. So I have talked to people who did buy them, and they did say they were very strong and made getting through whatever you was stuck on incredibly easy, but then they get outdated. So you basically have to buy a level appropriate version later. And I'm like, oh God, that's
Oh, you mean
horrible.
They don't level with you? They stay at whatever level you buy?
Gross.
Yep. And I'm like, that's super gross.
That's even worse.
Yeah. So due to very, very vocal popular demand, it seems like they are removing legendary artifacts. They said, this is your, and they kind of spun it in a funny way, which, whatever, they're a business. I get it. But they had, well, we're removing these due to, user feedback during early access. And here's your last chance if you want a whatever Claymore, because it's being like, once it's gone, we're done. And it's got a clock basically till that sale was supposed to end in like 23 hours. That's basically, you got 23 hours to buy this broken thing. Now, I've made kind of like my point known where I think that's gross. Do not do that. That is super pay to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's gross.
It's the current trend of the mobile market, however. I'm not saying it's right, but that's what it is. I mean, unless you're going to refer to, Elder Scrolls Blades as Elder Scrolls Candy Crush, I mean, that's an apt way of looking at it, especially with practices like this.
Well, my issue with it, I'm more morally opposed to it.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Sure. I'm more morally opposed to it existing because, like I said, that's gross. And theoretically, down the line, the difficulty could be tailored to strong arm you into doing things like buying weapons to progress, which is a pretty valid concern, I think.
Yeah.
But in PvE, if somebody else wants to buy something like that, that essentially, to me, I viewed as like a paid mod thing. It wasn't bothering me personally because I wasn't using it, but at the same time, I didn't really want it to exist because that's bad business as far as you know what I mean? Like that's just, no, don't do that.
It makes you think they're EA now.
Yes. And that's not a good look.
No.
The bigger issue was the yet unreleased PvP arena mode, where I assume everybody can just throw their wallets at the screen because then you just beat your opponent because you have all the Daedric artifacts and the best armor and everything like that. And if your opponent doesn't match you, they lose. It is concerning that there are some of these now floating out in the wild because they started with this method. If they don't level with you, by my understanding, I guess they'll be out leveled eventually, which is whatever. The only way I could see them maybe doing a PvP that isn't super pay to wins is if you just normalize all the weapons. Like regardless of what axe you have an axe. Is it an axe with sparks? Is it an axe with flames? Like you just have generic, and then it's just that's kind of dull.
They could also do a thing similar to help me out here. The arena in Legends, where you don't use your deck. You randomize a deck.
Yes, that's actually, I never even thought of that. And with how much I play and loot, you'd think I'd be because I don't know how to build a deck worth anything.
They very well might be able to have essentially the equivalent of the arena there, where when you go in to do a PvP arena, they'll give you a couple sets of armor and you kind of make your build. So do I want to be a tanky guy? Okay, I'll bring the heavy armor, the shield. Do I want to be a mage? All right, then light armor here.
I like the timing on a two-handed greatsword because a lot of the swinging physics are timing based. So it's like, I like greatsword, so I want to use the timing on. That's actually a good point. So I don't think arena is a lost cause necessarily, but I'm curious how they're going to pull it off that does not just make that pay to win. I guess time will tell with that part.
They probably won't.
They might not. I mean, I guess selfishly, it's convenient that I don't care much about that aspect. I mean, I'll screw around with it, but hopefully they find some way to not make that gross since they've been fixing things. The only last point I want to make, because my God, I can't. This is going to be impossible for me to listen to myself talking this much on a podcast. Keep giving them feedback on this stuff, because one of the big things, I keep saying people have come in on both sides of this fence real hard. They totally deserve to get a lot of the negative criticism they got, and I'm fine with praising them when they do something right.
Sure.
We don't need to white knight them or whatever, but at the same time, if they're doing what we want, then I don't care. Like
one of the biggest things that I love about the Elder Scrolls Online, bringing it back just like that, is that they did listen to few, and a lot of the complaints that I had, such as crown crates not being available in game, they're still sort of not as much, but they are offered as monthly rewards. Not not so much now, but they
for a while
in the past. Yeah. Yep. I still would like to see something like they're more available, like from trials and stuff. Like there's a chance they'll just drop. But the other thing was that they are lacking cosmetic rewards out of anything other than their crown store. Well, now they're adding more pets into the world that you can put together in like a little scavenger hunt, which I really like. Skins for hard mode stuff, and now I guess they did their first mount, which was the Indrik, and now they're going to do another one. So they're moving in the right direction. I'm just really surprised with Blades, and maybe they thought because it was mobile, people would be used to it.
Sure.
But the hate they got over 76, you think they would have played a little safer than what they did. I
can definitely agree with that. And I believe, shout out to, I believe it's Shano.
Yep.
I was going to say from a while back.
That scrub. I got you. Yeah.
Him and I have been discussing it in the Discord. Yeah. And he made a very good point, which mimics something that I also do question when it comes to business. Because although I like to be positive about these things and, you know, like training a dog or something, you reinforce positive behavior, even if you know there's a backup reason to it. Like, it's fine. Just make them think they did something good, even if you don't believe it, but it's something you like. Or if it's something you actually, you know, in the case of Elder Scrolls Online, they're not really like giving a mount in game in a very challenging way. That's not in that specific sense making them money. Now it makes people happy. You know, you can look at it so many different ways. Things are beneficial or negative. Mm-hmm. So with Blades, the point could be taken that they pushed as far as they could to have people complain, and then they brought it back to where they originally wanted it anyways, so that it seems like people made a difference.
It's a good strategy.
It is, and it's a very valid strategy. And I've had some people point out that to me, where they're like, "Oh, well, you don't understand that this is." I was like, "No, don't lecture me on business. I've run a business for a long time. I know how business works." And all I'm trying to say is I don't care. They're giving me now what I asked for, regardless of if it was because of me or because of you or whoever. If it was a community effort, awesome that they actually paid attention to us. I get the feeling maybe they did to an extent. Or if this was their plan all along, okay, fine. Then your original plan would have been fine with me. You could have just launched it like that because I wouldn't have had an issue with it. Like, regardless of why, where I'm fine with. So, kind of, you know, everybody doesn't need to have pitchforks and be ready to kill everybody just because something doesn't launch great. That's not great business practice to come out stumbling, like you said, especially after 76. But at the same time, if the game becomes something we like, then it's a game that we like. That's kind of the goal, isn't it? Like,
I mean, if No Man's Sky redeemed itself, anyone can.
Did it?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was gonna.
I mean, they
did
really
it really
messed,
though.
Compared to
that game,
like compared to
that game
how
has
they
a lot of
messed
players
up.
now. I granted played it much. I did not play it at launch because I didn't believe anything that they were selling to start with. But I played it right after they added multiplayer for real. It's fine. Like, it's fun. It's got some neat... I really like the art style and I like the music. So we just kind of go around and ruin planets and look at horrible creatures and then kill them. It's fine. It's shallow, but it's whatever. It's fun with friends, I guess. But yeah, ESO when it launched was rough.
Oh no, ESO when it launched was better.
All right, veteran ranks.
I loved veteran ranks.
The boss is not spawning.
I thought they were great.
I mean, originally with the bugs and all that stuff, but I mean, not that they don't still have stuff, but yeah, I know you
100% go back to like a vanilla Elder Scrolls server with veteran ranks.
Oh god, the veteran ranks.
No.
I was not a veteran rank.
1000% would go back.
No. I mean, if we are going to keep all the dungeons and all the bug fixes,
yeah,
I would. But otherwise, vanilla ESO was fun. It was fun, but it was also very frustrating. I still have the picture from when I first hit veteran rank 14 after like 1 year into the game. I was so proud because it was so hideous grinding those veteran.
It was very grindy.
Jeez. And we didn't have Skyreach, we didn't have the scrolls, we didn't have the Sigic Ambrosias.
Oh my god, the scrolls and the events, 5 weeks of double XP right now, like, good god. That is so much XP.
I'm not utilizing it at all.
That's fine. Arkhaniir is plenty high level, and we've established that he is now the true...
Oh my god.
The true Arkhaniir.
I mean...
But yeah, so... on that beautiful note, if you do have input on Blades, keep sending it to Bethesda. Whether or not they're listening to us or not, you can decide that for yourself. But since they're pretty much doing exactly what we're complaining about so far and meeting us along the way, I'm going to just assume that they are listening to us. Keep sending it in. They have been responding to tweets and stuff. They've got their official forums. And if the game's not for you, you don't need to get super bent out of shape, because surprise, their other mobile game is way worse than this. I've played Shadowkey. It gets worse. It gets worse.
What did you play Shadowkey on?
I have a really...
Engage?
So I actually don't have an Engage, and I've heard that it's basically impossible to emulate. I found an emulator, and when I first joined the show, I had a really bad frame rate emulator. I mean, it ran god awful. I don't know if that's maybe just how the game runs, but it was
probably on par with.
Yeah, it probably was. But then my computer died, as most people know, and I got my new one. I have not been able to find that emulator again because I actually would try to finish that. I don't know if I could restart that game though. Good God, like it is.
Shadowkey is the one with the Shadow Mage guy who blows up a crater in right next to the village thing, right? Like that's the story or something like that.
So the story.
I think it's the one where you go into the Battle Mage Keep or whatever.
No, that's Battle Spire.
Nope, that's Battle Spire.
That's Battle Spire.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Some of the spin-offs.
It
could be worse. TES Redguard, it's the worst.
I'm asking because the idea that Elder Scrolls 6 will be in Hammerfell, and that video is in the border of Hammerfell and Hyrule, is based on the game Shadowkey.
Elder Scrolls Lorecast. Yeah, but doesn't every game have a Shadow Mage guy who blows up a crater? Fair point, sir.
Valid. So the story, all right, so I'm not going to go into this because I haven't beaten it. I'm not at Shadowkey. Also, I'm sure no one cares. But you go to Dragonstar is one of the areas in the game, which I actually did not know that Dragonstar was in an Elder Scrolls game before. Yep. No idea until I started playing that. There are these Shadow Gates. They don't really explain that much of them, but you're like killing bandits who have these like crazy relics, which I couldn't really get a hold of. There were a lot of spelling errors, I'm not going to lie, in the dialogue, which made reading it kind of tricky. So, like I said, if I can get a working copy, I do plan on subjecting myself to playing it. But yeah, I don't know if that mod was illegal or something, because I can't find it again.
I'm sure it's on the dark web somewhere.
Probably where it belongs. But yeah, so again, mobile games could be worse because that was worse. It had the hit detection. Well, not the hit detection, but remember Morrowind, you had to roll to hit people at all, and then you rolled for damage. Yeah, it was a worse, laggier version of that.
Oh,
I mean, why do you do this to yourself, Lotus?
Well, I like to be well read in things that I like, even when I hate myself, apparently.
Just read them.
I kind of hate you a little bit.
Yeah. Adventures Redguard nearly broke me. That I did not think I could beat because the jumping was so bad. Like,
we're going to be a platformer, but be terrible at jumping.
Yeah. Oh, I had to reconfigure DOS blocks so many times because, like, I would just glitch right through the buildings that I was supposed to grab. And, like, there was an awning. I missed it, like, 80 times. I still don't know why I ever grabbed it. It just worked one of the times after, like, an hour and a half of failure.
You hear this, you millennials? Complaining about games with bugs in them now, and that day one patches. Though that game released that way, it never got a patch. Just so you know. I just like to highlight that game was an actual release game, and there was no way to patch games like that back in the day.
Yep.
I mean, even Morrowind, I played Morrowind 50 to 60 hours in the last year. And that was it. Like, that was my limit. Yes, the game was amazing and all that, but after 50 hours, it was just like, why won't you work? And I eventually had to give up. Also, I got lost. Yeah. There's that as well. I basically couldn't continue questing because my quest involved things that one-shot me. And yeah, I had no idea where to go and what to do. So
yeah. Just as a experiment for anybody interested, I'm sure there's probably YouTube videos of it. If you ever get bored and want to have any gauge on what I'm talking about, I think his name is Rasmo. Look up Rasmo in the Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard if you ever feel like having a gauge as to what the worst voice acting ever could possibly be. And that'll give you a gauge for the quality of that game. Mm-hmm. So maybe I just have a high tolerance for bad things or accept growing pains.
Or you're a sadomasochist and you just really kind of like getting off.
Yeah, maybe it turns out that's my favorite.
I mean,
oh, it hurts so good.
But you know what? Morrowind? Nah, it's nothing compared to Adventures Redguard.
I guess, I mean, who am I to judge? I like running DLC veteran hard mode dungeons with pugs. Yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's not masochistic. That's just stupid.
Hey, look, I have a platonic...
Hey, you can't even argue that. I know you didn't even try fighting. You're like, yeah, that seems accurate.
I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
I can't deny that that's not an accurate
I sort of have this, I guess, platonic relationship with Mike Finnegan. Like, I just do the worst, worst stupid ideas in dungeons, and yeah.
Senpai noticed me.
Just scream at Finnegan and see after that.
Mike, I'm gonna do this with pugs and no healer. Show me some love.
Well, I didn't do pugs and no healer yet.
Do it.
There are dungeons I still haven't cleared with pugs. Depths of Malatar is complete. Frostvault is complete. Actually, no, I think I've done all of them with pugs. But no hard modes. Haven't done a single hard mode with pugs yet. Except Scale Collar, where we always drop the boss to like 10% with a pug group, but just couldn't execute. Every time we died. But actually, yeah, maybe I should start doing the pug hard modes.
Do it.
Anyway,
you won't pug hard mode Frostvault.
I couldn't do our proper group Frostvault hard mode. It's just, oh my god, the damage, man! It's insane. Like, even with a healer,
exclusives.
Let's
pick 3 random people from chat right now to group up with you, and let's do this.
Well, if I do it on stream, it'll be all clicks and button smashes because mechanical keyboard.
Well, you can mute. We're a family-friendly show anyway, so you'll probably be cursing up a storm. We have to mute that out. So
that's also true.
That is true.
That is
I get salty.
I would never.
Not toxic, but very salty.
As much as I stream for charity, nothing that I stream is safe for any type of consumption under 18, probably. Yes, it is just us raging.
I think Tales of Tamriel is the only 2 hours Lotus is live and not swearing.
That is 100% valid.
That is also true.
At first, I remember him slipping small curses or holding himself back. Mm-hmm. He's getting used to it, but
yeah, I'm getting better at it. I don't even have the post-it note on the laptop off to the side. I used to keep one that was a curse about how I shouldn't curse. And I'm like, all right, I need to make notes of this.
Don't bleeping curse, you bleeping idiot.
Yeah, but this is my clean 2 hours a week.
Wow.
2 hours a week.
Wow, Lotus. Wow.
Think of it as a recharge to come up with more innovative ways of new curses.
I did not realize this show was such a struggle for you.
Oh man, there's actually some of my clips on my Twitch channel. We're not even losing. Like one of them is I saved a run of City of Ash 2 and ended up soloing Valken Scoria on Vet for, I don't know, it was like 800,000 HP on a tank, which was painfully slow for everybody involved. But did it the whole time. I'm just swearing incoherently. There was zero threat of death. I don't even know what I was so angry about. But I was just swearing a lot. I don't. It's apparently just the New Englander in me. That's what I do.
Well, they say Elder Scrolls Lorecast. This just in. Lotus is a sailor.
Back to Stros Mackay I go.
Only sailors wear condoms, baby. Not in the 90s, Austin. Well, they should, the filthy buggers going from port to port.
Oh, man, I'm going to watch that now.
I don't. There you go. You're welcome.
Right? I haven't seen that in forever.
You are welcome, sir.
Yep.
Arc's like, I don't know what's going on.
I know.
What is happening?
It's the movie Arc.
Which one?
Austin Powers.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Classic Austin Powers movie.
Classic Austin Powers movie.
So, shall we move on to the tales? Do you have tales? I know Lotus does, but Ag, do you have tales?
I do.
Okay, alright, go ahead then, and let's give Lotus a bit of voice resting time.
Right.
Thank God.
I booted up Morrowind, actually, and I've been on a modding journey with Morrowind.
Do you have the pretty mod?
Okay, well let's go back here. You know the things we talked about, how you just got done saying there was the thing you don't like about Morrowind is that it like rolls for a hit and then rolls for damage.
It's one of the only things about that game I don't like.
A mod called Always Hit Morrowind. Mm-hmm. Essentially what it does is it has a modifier that whenever you're playing, it goes, okay, when your menu's closed, it looks at what your real skill value is, okay? Then when you close the menu, it boosts your whatever weapon skill up to 100, so you have 100% hit chance, but then puts a negative debuff on you and modifies the damage, so you're doing the damage that you would at that level. So it plays a lot more like Skyrim.
I'm totally not typing that exact mod into the chat, downloading that and playing this on PC.
That's the other one was Magicka. Essentially, it's a suite of mods that make Morrowind play like Skyrim. The Magicka and stamina regeneration mod that legitly lets you restore Magicka without sleeping.
Oh God, I needed that.
Yeah. And I'm also doing, I forget the name of it, but it's essentially Morrowind Complete Overhaul, I think is what it's called. It adds a whole bunch of new textures. Now, the textures aren't super great, but it makes it look at least as good as Oblivion, if not maybe as good as vanilla Skyrim. Maybe. Vanilla without that. It's hard to compare, I think, in the number of pixels it is, but you got to remember Morrowind, especially at the time that you're playing it, is a fairly barren wasteland. Like, I mean, the ground's very high, like high resolution, high pixel count, but it's still Morrowind. So
that makes sense.
But the entire Overhaul mod is insane because it essentially runs you through a wizard that says, okay, how you want to do this. And it goes through every single thing it's upgrading, because there's some things maybe you don't want to upgrade. Like, one of the things I didn't upgrade was the trees, because they had different variations of the trees. They all got high-res model updates, but they changed the trees. They're like, yeah, all these dead Morrowind trees with like the 3 branches, we don't like that. So we made a high version copy of it that has like 100 branches. I'm like, well, that looks like a weird bush that doesn't even resemble the tree anymore. So that's literally what I've been doing, is actually trying to get that mod to work, because I want to play Morrowind, but essentially play it the way I play Skyrim. But oh my goodness, the models actually look fan-freaking-tastic.
Well, now I'm interested.
Really
I'll
good.
YouTube it. I'll check it out on YouTube or something. Maybe even I'll get back to it. I don't know.
Let me see if I can find...
It's such a good... it's so good.
Nope. Oh, it's called the Morrowind Overhaul. Here, I'm going to actually link it for people in chat right now.
Actually, send it to our Discord group as well for the call, so I can drop it in the show notes later.
Yeah, that'll be
there. You
sweet.
go. It's from Nexus Mod. There you go. And in our little chat room as well. There you go.
Chat room that you always leave after every single show, and I have to re-invite you every single show.
It's all right. The good stuff is there. And all them.
But check out this mod for you guys who want to look at this. Look at this thing. Look what it's actually doing.
I can't believe I'm going to put a mod in a video. I have never modded and played with an Elder Scrolls game with a mod.
Just look at some of the screenshots of Morrowind that they put up there, like the things that they've re-added.
I hate Morrowind as a land. It's just ugly.
Well, monster. Mean, it's still Morrowind. So
what is prettier than a big old pile of dirt and ash?
Yeah, right. And mushrooms.
This is impressive.
And that sweet ghost fence.
I'm trying to see if there's pictures of the actual people. Yeah, there's 88 images on this thing. They show mostly landscapes, but there it is. Actually, just look at any one of those images that show the people. They even look a lot better than they did. And there's actually higher res models included in this if you want.
Oh god, these models, but with these textures, it's wrong. High-res textures on low-poly models. It's just...
Oh man, does what's his name? Cassius the Creeper? Does he still have like a 40-pack of abs?
Oh, dude, his abs go on for days.
Cassius the Creeper? How dare you, sir?
But look at the Imperial model. The Imperial guy who gives you away. It's image 22 of 24. That's on that list. Look at him. He looks a lot better than he did originally. Like, you can't deny that he doesn't.
Okay, I actually really like this.
This is what I've been working on, getting it ready so I can play Morrowind with much high. Like I said, it's not Skyrim, but it's
about
a heck of a lot better. And like I said, the gameplay changes, like the always hit Morrowind. Is beautiful.
That's the only holdup I don't like about going back, because that is my favorite of them. It's just the start game where you have to chance to hit. I mean, once you're overpowered, it doesn't matter. You hit everything with 100% accuracy anyways, but it's just like that start game with the please just hit the baby scrib and let me sleep. Like,
yep. And I actually do like the Magicka thing too, because then it essentially adds a regeneration.
Yes.
So you don't have to go back and sleep to get your mana back.
Or was that the one with the Atronach Stone? You would get hit by Magicka and it would have a chance of absorbing into you. But there was also a chance to just smash your face in. So it was like, it's a 50% chance I will die to this or get Magicka back and be able to return a spell.
The one nice thing about the Morrowind Overhaul is that they don't change anything from the real. Like, this is just a graphics overhaul and a few systems overhaul to make it play a little bit more modern.
Yes. It sounds just modern enough for my liking, too.
Yeah, and actually, let me see. There's a video here.
There we go.
I'm going to select a YouTube video here that shows you how to install these mods. And that's what I used. I'll paste it here, and I'll also paste it in chat so people can actually see it as well. I didn't really do the other ones. I only do Morrowind Overhaul. I only do the Rebirth. You can kind of choose. But still, if you want to check it out, That's what I've been working on. So that's literally my Tales. That's what I've been doing.
All right, I actually got the display capture going and scrolling through the images right now of the mod.
Oh, beautiful.
Ooh, wow, this is... You trying to make this like high-end podcasting? What's happening here?
But I mean, yeah, look at the, even just the land models and stuff you see. You've seen how much of an increase it is over what Morrowind normally is. Like that dark elf that you had right there. Even
Dude,
he looks
he's
better.
creeping me out. It's just too smooth and high texture with that face and
For his
models.
points.
Yeah.
Well, and they really didn't redo a lot of the models because one of the things they didn't want to do, and I applaud them for, is they still wanted to keep the essence of what an Elder Scrolls is. They didn't want to change it and go, oh, great, now we have elves, but they look like Tolkien elves, not Elder Scrolls elves.
Yep.
Because that's pretty much what ESO did. They prettified the elves too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dark elves in Skyrim are dirty.
Well, yeah, I mean, that the Altmer, they have those very angular features, and then ESO went, well, then no one's going to want to play these, so let's make them really pretty. That was actually one of the things I complained most about when
ESO first came out.
ESO first came out. Yeah, was that they made the elves too pretty, so everyone who wanted to pretend to be Legolas could do that again.
See, they're trying to trick people into playing for the Almere Dominion. It's bad.
And even then, we hate it. Thankfully. Thank God we know the true face of the Dominion.
Yep.
And that face is Arkhaniir.
Oh.
Oh my God.
You walked right into that one.
Oh, man.
I did.
I also like how you got to it before I even got the chance. The one thing...
I love that Lotus was right there with me. He's like,
I was ready to go. I just jumped on it first.
I got like now 2 knives right in my back. It's like... I have knives instead of shoulders now.
Speaking of Imperials.
Oh!
Yeah, on that note, I forget what word I just said and I pronounced it super wrong. But anyways, on that note, to start your tutorial arc when you play Blades, they teach you to use combat on a Thalmor guard as he walks up to you. Oh, you got to bash his face?
Yeah, while you were talking about the news.
Or did you get past it?
I killed him. And then the game wanted me to download like 800 megabytes more, so I'm going to do that after this
They literally give you a tutorial, and then you download the game.
Hopefully,
each of the patches has been, I believe, 3 megs and 2 megs, so like there's not much to them beyond that. It seems like the bulk of the game is that initial 800, whatever it is.
Yep. So, in terms of my Tales, I was just doing writs. Writs for days.
Been sucked into the Writpocalypse.
Yeah. I don't think I'll do writs for
the holiday event.
Yeah, for the gift boxes. And I mean, I did get a lot of motifs. I learned the Valkynar chest motif by mistake instead of selling it. I'm very upset.
Oh, no.
I don't even like
it. By mistake. It's another elf thing. And I learned it by mistake. Oh.
Was it the chess piece? Do you have wings?
Yeah, it's that one. I mean, it does. The wings does resemble the Polish.
Don't you?
No, the Polish winged hussars.
I know the Hushiers. Yeah. No, don't even.
But the chest itself is ugly as hell. I mean, the wings are alright, but the chest itself is. Just,
I don't actually like that style.
I hate it. Except, I mean, if the style was like, if I could just take the wings,
actual Polish saber, it'd be okay.
Oh, that would be lovely.
That would be pretty.
I mean, we could probably do that with an Alikir weapon, but
it's a little bit of a tangent. But do you watch the show Forged in Fire?
No.
I don't know if you would get it in Turkey, but essentially it is a blacksmithing competition.
We can get anything in Turkey.
It's on Amazon.
Made Dawnbreaker or something?
No. These are real weapons, not fantasy weapons. So essentially what they do is they take 4 blacksmiths, give them 3 hours to forge a blade, 3 hours to put a handle on it, make it fun. Then they like beat the crap out of it, see if they can break it. And then what they do is each round they eliminate one person. And
that sounds awesome.
And then for the final round, 2 people have to they get 5 days at their home forges to recreate a weapon from history. And they did one where they had to do the Polish, I forget what the actual, but it's essentially a Polish saber from the Hussars. And it was beautiful.
Oh,
but yeah, no, they do strength tests. Like they'll bash them against like railroad ties to see that the edges hold up. So if you're interested in blacksmithing or anything like that, it's a really good show.
It could be fun.
It's funny. The only reason I mentioned that thing with the Dawnbreaker, I saw it on YouTube. I think it's a YouTube series. I don't know if it's actually like from Network, but it's a group of blacksmiths, and they normally make actual blacksmithing stuff, but for special stuff they do. Like every now and then they'll make a real version of a fantasy thing. And I believe they did Dawnbreaker. They did the thing from The Witcher, I think. And that's,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no. And they're amazing when they're done. I mean, it's like a half an hour show, by what I remember. But like their art team is amazing. And they show you how they're like crafting it the whole time and stuff like that. It is really interesting. I wish I remembered what the name was, but I know it was on YouTube. I'm pretty sure the weapon they made was Dawnbreaker. So if you probably look up like real life Dawnbreaker, you'd find it. And then like you can find all the other ones they did, because I'm pretty sure they did the Witcher Blade and some other stuff.
Well, the Witcher ones are always based off realism anyway. It'd be fairly easy to do, other than, you can't really make it silver, because silver will not hold a man.
Right.
But besides that little fact, well, now I know what I'm going to be doing after the show.
Yep.
All right, Lotus, what about your tales?
So, luckily for me, my tales were largely covered in the excessive blades I played. So, I, like you, was also sucked into Ritpocalypse still. My RNG continued to be trash through the entire event. So, I would like to thank Dr. Hudat. Let's see who else got me stuff. My buddy Trump, who, side note, is super excited about the name change on PlayStation Network because he gets a very mixed bag of messages from that name. Because it's supposed to refer to a Trump card. And let's just say it's taken on a different connotation these days. Both the better. I want
that name.
Yeah, so he's just like, oh boy. He's like, either way, this is just awkward, because that wasn't why I named myself that. Regardless of what you think, it's just like, that was not what I was inviting as like private messages. He gave me a bunch, and Delta from last time, they basically gave me every single piece of the Prophet style except one, because I got 9 pairs of wraps and nothing else. The entire thing on 9 characters. The entire.
Dude, I've got the full set like twice.
I understand. But now the new event is the World Boss and Delves repeatables. That started yesterday, and I am 0 for 10, I think, on those, on the new style, whoever it is. I think it's Lyris. Pretty sure it's
Titanborn.
Okay, so I think I'm 0 for 10.
That stuff is going on?
Yes.
Yep.
I didn't even know.
Yep. That's all right this time. So
actually, that should have been in the news.
Yeah, so they do Prophet style, then Lyris style, then Saisahan, then... Oh, okay, so it's Abnertharn, then Saisahan. Yeah. And then the 5th week is a grab bag where they are all for sale for event tickets, and you can just buy them from doing your login anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like I'm just going to buy them with the cash shop.
Yeah. So...
Actually, you could probably...
What does the Prophet style look like? I mean,
you look like a hobo.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Prophet.
But it's not everything, right? Like, the style wouldn't have... he didn't have a two-handed greatsword.
No, you have a crappy little staff. Oh, right. That's
so it's not a full style. It's more like a...
I wonder what...
Just the clothing. I think you get the staff as well. Or
armor?
I think you get the staff as well.
I think you staff, and then like you get a great sword or something for another run. Or so. It's funny. I never actually thought about that.
Yeah, because I'm curious, because I know Lyris had the axe, Sai had a great sword, Abner had probably a Destro staff, and the Prophet had a Resto staff.
Yep.
But I was just curious, like, if it's a full set, you would think that you would have
they're the gold pages, so it's not even like.
So it's more akin to the Reno armor.
Yes, 100%. Correct. Okay. Yes.
All right.
So it's just like that. Cool event. I can't get anything out of it, which is whatever. Right? That's fine. You get your Indrik tickets plus all these other things you can buy literally for just eating the cake each day, which I really like, and they give you 2 tickets. So that's cool. Finish your Indriks if that's your thing. I have looked at the amount of stuff I have. I have just assorted berries with no rhyme or reason. So I still have my base Indrik and parts of berries. I don't know what I'm doing. But the only thing that I figured I'd mention about the world boss thing is, to anybody who's been doing the event, you might have noticed as well, it's really funny how many people are at these world bosses, because it's just World War III hits these things. I mean, they're up for like a fraction of a second. But oh my god, the influx of people in those areas, the ones where you have to collect stuff or save somebody as like the side objective, they're just not there. They're just not there. Because
I
there's
hate Rothgard
roving hordes of thousands of adventurers killing them. So
I've never been a fan of Overland events because of that. I mean, most of the time, 90% of Overland events, like World Boss events, whatever, is spent idly waiting for something to
happen.
Yeah.
Also, Swampy confirmed it is 7 pieces, so their individual weapon and
so
or their actually 7 pieces would just be their clothing.
I'll just wait until some people get like multiples of the style pages, drop them in the guild bank, and just take them. However, next week is going to be PvP dailies. Now, that I can do. That I can do and happily do. But yeah, World Boss and Delves, it's just you spend 10 minutes at every boss, at the very least, just waiting for it to respawn. So, not going to be doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm finishing the Markmeyer ones. I'm actually done with all the world boss. I need to do 3 more delves, and then that's it. I'm done with all the Markmeyer repeatables. Oh, except the one you get at the end, which I haven't unlocked yet, but I don't care. I'll do that later.
I love how, like, whenever we talk about Merkmeyer, it's like, oh yeah, whatever, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Except Promethean.
I know. Well, to be fair though, like, I'm almost done with the main story. I figured I'd just I've been playing it here and there or whatever. I like it. I did that one where you're talking about Shadow Scale. That was awesome. Over the salt rice plantation, or the salt trees plantation there. Yeah. That was awesome. So
how did that solve the problem? Well, they're not arguing anymore.
The argument's done. You're in charge.
Yeah.
All right. So no, I was liking that from what I played, but I got to finish that off, and this thing has been a mess. So I've been trying to do just repeatables in the time that I've been playing, or playing Blades. So that's pretty much it for me.
Nice.
All right. Well, that wraps up a show then.
Sounds like it.
Good show.
Yeah, it was a lot longer than what I initially expected. I thought it was going to be a short one. We are past our mark, so.
Yep.
So all
that is always good, but as all good things, this episode must come to an end as well. And yeah, you can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork. If you want to help support the show, as well as consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes it matters, except what Aggelos says, because it's always lies and slander. And Lotus is getting it as well. Lover. Thank you for joining. You know what? You're not on the show anymore. I'm gonna do this by myself.
I still control the upload. I didn't give you that yet, so
Fair enough.
Ooh, executive fight.
He'll give me the show, and there will be like 20 minutes at the beginning where all I do is go, Ark is an elf, Ark is an elf, and that's it.
We're just mixing guar sounds in between your verses.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this episode, and we hope to see you next week. Have a great night.
See you later, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seir it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.